Well, it looks like it's going to be time to do a little bit of house cleaning. Hey, welcome back to the AnKorage, where everything is awesome and we are going to be a little geeky today. Let me correct that. Going to be a little geeky today. So, what we've got going on is just what I've had. Here is Solaria. This is my daily driver Linux Mint machine, Linux Mint Debian edition, and so what I have to do is, what I've been meaning to do for a while is doing some cable cleanup. Now, the cables are fine just the way they are and everything like that, but I want to clean it up, reroute it, just to make it a little neater on the inside. And it's like, we got this glass here. Of course, I painted this, and you can see that right up here. And we just need to, just to straighten up a little bit. So that's all that we're going to be doing with that. I've got a couple of cables going from SATA hard drives or solid state drives, SSDs, going to the motherboard, and I've got a couple other cables going on, and also regarding airflow. Now this case has somewhat decent airflow. On the front, way in the front, I've got 3 fans that suck air in, and then I've got 2 here on we call it a rad, but it's a radiator for cooling, and I've got it's a water block that is attached to the CPU, but and so the heat from the CPU gets caught by the water through the water block, and it gets fed up through to the radiator where that heat radiates off, and there's 2 fans that blow the air straight up. So I've got 2 fans blowing air out the top, and I've got 1 fan right back here that is blowing air out. And so what I've got going on is I've got the 3 fans in the front, and they are all sucking in air. And then I've got 3 fans back here all together that are blowing air out. So that provides neutral pressure, air pressure. So you've got positive pressure, neutral pressure, and then you've got negative pressure. Now the differences between the airflow pressures is on a positive pressure, you've got more air coming in than you do going out. In a negative pressure, you have more air going out than you have coming in. And then you have neutral pressure, which is the same in and out at the same time. So what I have to consider is dust. I've got dust up the wazoo in this place. So right now this is set up for neutral pressure, so I've got the same amount coming in that I've got going out. I can alleviate that somewhat by converting this from a neutral to a positive. So I've got more air coming in than I do going out. And here's why. Watching Jay on Jay's 2 Cents, another channel on here, that when you have negative pressure, you've got more air going out than what's coming in. And what that'll do is that actually sucks in more air, from, little creases and crevices and cracks, gaps in the case from wherever, and it'll actually end up sucking in more dust. And whereas if you have a positive pressure, you will actually have more air being blown in, and there's a less chance of dust collecting on that. How that actually happens, I don't know. It all has to do with physics, and that's a little bit complicated for me to truly understand, but I trust his word, and because he knows what he's doing about it. He builds machines, and of course, being talking about computers and stuff like that. He's all about gaming and Windows. I don't even recall him doing anything regarding Linux at any point. So, but when it comes to cases and stuff like that, he's really good, and he knows what he's talking about. So, and this is a Matrix 50. So it's a Chinese company, and it's a good case. It's not the greatest, but it's a good minimalistic appearance, aesthetics, and everything like that. And this one even has RGB, red, green, blue, and there's a friend of a relative who calls it RBG when I'm like, dude, G, not B. But either way, that's fine. So I'm going to clean up those cables, and I'm going to convert this into a positive pressure system, and I am going to eliminate the RGB in this. Alright, so here is the inside of the Solaria, and and looking at this, it's a little dusty in there. I'm going to try to rectify that a little bit, but we can kind of take a look. So you can see that dust right there, and so we'll take a look at this. Okay. So what I've done here is I've done a little bit of dusting. Nothing really major. I don't have any compressed air right now, so the amount of dusting I do has to be very minimal because of static electricity. And this place is a static generator. I shock myself all the time. So I've actually gone through and I've looked at the actual cables, and they're actually routed exactly where I wanted to. Before, I thought I had a couple coming out of this cord hole here, but that isn't true. They're actually coming up right through where I wanted to have them come through before. So those cable moves, I don't have to worry about. They're good to go. And if you look up over here, I've gone and I've removed this fan. So that achieves the positive pressure because I've got two fans right up here, as you can see here. So air gets blown up straight through, and I've got three fans over here that bring air in through these screens. There's one on this side and there's one on the other, so there's nothing going in through the front. These fans were originally on the front of this bracket, but for the sake of trying to increase the airflow a little bit, I had moved them to the back behind it. So, and I'm not an RGB user, so these are RGB, but I don't need to actually use that. So that's going to be the next part. I'm actually going to take the cabling off, and because I'm not going to need it anymore. So on the back side here is the spaghetti mess of cable management, and it's not because of the power cabling or the motherboard cabling or anything like that. The reason why it looks like such a mess is because of the RGB wiring. So once I take that off, it's going to look so much better. So waiting to find out. Here we go. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've removed just this one cable. But it's you can actually see everything is a lot neater in there. Granted, it kind of still looks like a mess on camera here, but when you look at it in real life, everything else in here is nothing but just straight up power. And I'm not concerned with getting it all rooted and placed and zip tied and everything like that. It doesn't need to be super neat because I don't have any need for that. It's like it's functional, it's working. RGB gone bye-bye. So there we go. And down here you'll notice in that section I've actually pulled out this drive. It's a WD Red, Western Digital Red. This was what was in my my MyCloud server. and I was going to use it, and I can use it. However, through recent tests to run self-tests on it, self-tests were failing with read-write errors, and so I was able to pull off all the data I could before the system would just time out and just say, nope, not going to do it. So I've actually got all the information off that I've needed to on here, and I can go ahead and drive my nails through it and throw it away. So there we go on that. And there we go, we're all done. Turned out I didn't have to move the cables, they were already in the spot. I had forgotten about that. So, and I took care of the fan that's out, so I've got air will just be able to come out of here. The fan's not in the way to block the flow of air, and I've got the air coming out of the front, and it's being blown through the radiator in the top, and so I got 3 fans blowing, sucking air in for positive pressure, and I've got 2 fans blowing air out, namely the main part of the heat off of the processor through the water block, and using that AIO all in one. So there we go. So, and I've got the wiring back here. It's all power now. So, and I'm not concerned with getting everything lined up. I'm not anal like that. Well, I am, but I know the practicality of the lengths of wires and cables, and it just wouldn't work out. So yeah, I could get custom ones from, let's say, like Cable Mod or something like that, but I can't afford that. So that's a money thing. So that's my only caveat that's preventing me from doing that. So in the end, I'm not going to see it. It's covered by a solid metal case back here, panel. So out of sight, out of mind. Seriously. So I've got got this back on, and it's all closed up. So all I have to do is just plug things back in, fire it back up, and I'm good to go. And I can go Linux crazy with Linux Mint. Should I, with my daily driving. So this video is actually being edited on my Windows machine, because I use FOSS software on that, and my telemetry is disabled. I have blocked it, so nothing phones home. Yeah. So anyways, thank you very much for coming. This was fun, and it didn't take very long to do. So make sure you check out my other videos, and please subscribe and donate some crypto if you want. All the information is down below, and you can see me out on Mastodon. That information is down below too. And some of you may be like, well, what's Mastodon? It's like Twitter, but it's ethical. So there you go. And you can see that I've got the channels link for that and Mastodon down there. And you can see my Acoma link, which is also social networking. It's like Mastodon. It uses the ActivityPub protocol, so it can talk to Mastodon. So there we go. And it can also talk to PixelFed, Friendica, you name it. Hubzilla, you name it. There you go. It just can't talk to mainstreamy kind of things or normie stuff. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It doesn't talk to that stuff because those are unethical. So anyhow, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. So be sure to check out the other videos, subscribe, and everything like that. And we will catch you in the next video. So thank you very much, and Skál.